Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We'll be starting with the event shortly. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes. Until then, you can just call in your friends as well for the event, and we'll be starting soon. Just keep waiting for some more time with us, and then we'll be starting shortly. Hey, I can see a lot of highs. So tell me, you guys, you can comment in the chat like, are you here for the session or you have registered for the course as well? So many highs and hellos. Register, session, both. That's nice. Okay. So I guess we can start. Make sure that you have informed your friends and all of us are joining soon. Okay. So hello and good evening, everyone. Sorry to keep you all waiting for a little bit. A very warm welcome to all of you to Geek INAC, a mock placement drive event organized by none other than the Pan India Student Chapters team of Geeks for Geeks. I am Sneha Roy, one of the employees for Geeks and your host for the evening. Before moving forward, let's get familiar ourselves with the terms that we'll be using. Okay, we'll be hearing throughout two terms. One is the student chapters, and definitely the other is our event name. So let's get into a bit of history before. The Geeks for Geeks student chapters journey started 8 months back, that is in July 2020. And when we saw that the student bodies were not that coordinative and interactive, and we, needed to bring some bodies in these colleges to develop a culture, to bring such people into one zone, to help each other, and to learn computer science and its related fields. In doing so, at the same time, our two enthusiastic campus mantris, if you are familiar with the Geek for Geeks campus mantri program, you'll be knowing that. So the two campus mantris came forward and took the initiative to have a student body in their college, comprising of 8 core members and others to develop and promote the coding culture in their colleges under the umbrella of Geeks for Geeks. Slowly, more and more student bodies felt the same thing, and many student chapters started functioning in all over Pan India. With currently, we are having 40 plus student chapters. Do tell me in the comments there that how many of you are a part of any of the student chapters presently, okay, in your colleges. Okay, so till that you reply, let me tell you about the student chapters, and these teams are quite energetic. Okay, it's not that they have formed and now they're all chill. They conduct 3 or 4 events monthly, regularly in their colleges since the time they have formed. Our next interesting term is the event name, the Geekai Knack. We all know the scenario and the tense situations we were either once into, or for some will be in the future when the placement hustle will begin. A company once comes and the exam happens and then the interview and all this happens. These things are so sudden. But what if we can have an experience from beforehand? You know, regarding the interview things and what we'll be facing, the things we should say, and the things we should abstain from saying in all these interviews. Well, this is what Geek INAC is all about, where the student chapters have been working rigorously since the last 1 month to prepare this 3 days mock placement drive. Before moving on, Geeks for Geeks would like to mention some star student chapter leads who have worked so dedicatedly for this event and made us proud. Divya Shukla, Krish Murarka, Nishant Mishra, AVS Adityavardhan, Sadaf Khan, and their respective core team members are to name a few. Well done, guys. We feel honored to have you all in a team. Once again, you must have received a timeline via mails and all, but those who haven't, we are currently on the opening ceremony as you all have joined us. We have two special guests who will be joining us for the evening today. Then we have our event roadmap to FANG. After this, at 7:30, the round one, the coding round, will begin. And in that coding round, the top 100 will move to the round two, that is the technical HR round, which will happen on day two. And similarly, the ones that will be selected from that will move to round three, that is the HR round. This is for the 3 days event that we'll be having. Then what are we waiting for? Let's hit the play button and get the Geek INAC event rolling. We have two very special guests with us today who will be joining us to make the session even more enthusiastic, and definitely majority of you know this, who will be the people joining us. So for the very first start, let me introduce our first guest speaker, Mr. Sandeep Jain, alumnus of IIT Roorkee, a coding enthusiast, and definitely majority of you know this, the founder and CEO of Geeks for Geeks. We'll have him shortly. Okay, sir will be joining us. Till then, I'll like to tell you guys that if you guys have any doubts, you can just put it in the comment section, and we'll at the end we'll be just answering all of those queries. And there were for a few people I mentioned, right? Divya Shukla, Nishant Mishra, and all. Are you guys in the section? We want to know. Yeah, Dhruv Mittal has asked a very important question. What about who didn't clear coding test? So, guys, we definitely understand that not everyone will be going to round two, owing to the limitations of seats that we are having for the technical interview round. Plus, there have been a huge registration, so we'll definitely have to filter out. There are 2-3 things that needs to be addressed for people who haven't qualified for round two, and you'll be receiving that via mail definitely. If I'll tell you now, then it will just loosen the thing, but be assured there will be things for those who haven't qualified. And if not, for the closing ceremony when we'll meet again, I'll definitely like to entertain this question again, but be assured that yes, there will be things that you'll be getting. राहुल कितने बजे जिम जाओगे? अभी टाइम लगेगा, जिम जाते जाते सुन लो. This course will help us in building resume or preparation in GT round 2. It's more just crazy. This question is from you. So this is more of a preparation. What will happen on the real ground when you'll be facing it? Because if you qualify for the technical interview, you'll be facing the interviewers who are actually quite having a good background. So they are already sitting with such positions. So definitely the questions that they will be asking you is all to prepare you, boost you up on what will happen on the real day whenever you'll be sitting for the placements. Difficulty level of test, we have the questions in such a level, Dhruv, that there are two easy questions, and then there are medium, and there is hard. So that will give you a touch of every type of question. So you can just check the Geek INAC official website. Over there we have mentioned regarding the test and the type of questions we'll be having. No, the HR round would be happening on Sunday. You definitely don't need any resume, Akash. Be like chill about that. You don't need any kind of resume. Okay, the test start time and duration, it's for 2.5 hours, if I'm not wrong. I'll just make sure. But yes, the test is starting at 7:30 p.m. Be sure that the test is starting at 7:30 p.m. We can see a lot of questions related to coding and competitive coding and all. I guess we're going to have some person dedicated completely to answer such questions of yours. I think those will be a better person than me who will be answering those questions, and you would like to have their tips rather than mine. So I guess we can put these questions a bit, we can wait. If you pass for HR round, do you need resume? No, you won't be needing resume for sure. In case our HRs feel, the ones that have signed for being the HRs, like who will be taking us on the day, if they feel, we'll definitely inform you. Any other question related to Geek INAC that you want to, or student chapters? Yes, Mayank, that's what we have to do when we organize an event. We need to make sure that everything happens on time. Okay, we'll be having Sandeep sir in just few moments, and then we can start with the speaker session first round. Ved Prakash definitely will having a position, like you'll be there will be a top 100 that people will be qualified in the leaderboard. You can see who came first, who were the runner-ups, and everyone. So there will be a leaderboard based on this contest. So you'll be getting positions as well. Yes. So we have with us Sandeep sir. So once again, I like to thank you so much, sir, for coming. We were waiting for you over here. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your time and joining us for the session. What other words, so sir, what do you want to tell these people who are watching you, and then students who have registered for the Geek Eye? Over to you.
First of all, I would like to thank all the participants here, all the people who are taking interviews, and the speakers. It really feels great to see that participation. And see, guys, many times when we see the people who crack the company interviews, and when people ask them, like we are having many interview experience webinars on Geek Stories YouTube channel. So I've been following them, and most of the people say this thing that I was rejected earlier in many companies, and there are two reasons people get rejected in interviews. First reason is their concepts are not clear or they have not done enough practice. The second reason is they are very, very good at coding, but somehow they did not know about the interview process or they have not gone through the interview process once. And most of the people who are selected in the coding interviews, they are like this. They were rejected once or twice, and then they got selected. So Geek INEC is an event where you get through that process, you get an idea, and I strongly recommend you guys to make the most use of it and participate in the event with full enthusiasm. We all are excited, and all thanks to the organizers as well for organizing such a great event. And I would like to especially thank the student chapter heads, the people who have been making such events successful, making the coding culture greater and greater. So we have many student chapters across India and outside India also. And those student chapter heads and their teams, their core teams, they have been doing fantastic job. And events like Geek INEC are not possible without you guys. So I guess that is all from my side.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much once again for just coming up and boosting up the people, their enthusiasm for the test. It was a great start for Geek INAC. Once again, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, moving ahead, guys, we are, the next speaker that we'll be having. But before that, I would like to introduce my colleague that will be taking over from here, Daksh Jain, who is also working on GFG. And as you all can see in the camera session, he's here. Over to you, Daksh. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sneha. So, a very good evening, everyone. Guys, I hope you are doing a great job and you are all excited for the Geek INAC event. So, basically, we will be starting soon. Mohammad Hassan sir will be joining shortly with us. Till then, in the comment section, you can ask any of the doubts if you have regarding the Geek INAC event. So, I would also like to give you some insights regarding the Geek INAC event. So, basically, today only in the round one, we will be having the coding round from 7:30 p.m. till 10 p.m. It will be of 325 points. So there will be 5 coding questions and all the details are mentioned in the course track. So guys, if you have any issue regarding that, you can just go through the course track where you registered and all the details are mentioned over there. To continue today, after the event, the top 100 students will be shortlisted and basically they will be going for the technical rounds. So technical rounds will be taken by some industry experts from basically Google, Amazon, Flipkart. We have multiple speakers for taking the interviews. So to name some of them, we have got Udit Agarwal sir. He's currently the senior software engineer at Microsoft. We have got Ritesh Shergill sir. He is the vice president at JP Morgan. They all will be taking your interviews tomorrow. Followed by they will be also Shashank Mishra sir. He will be also taking your interviews. We have got all the industry experts tomorrow for interviews. Will there be questions from advanced data structures as Shitil asked? So basically, the level of the questions will be from medium till advanced. So I guess if you have some knowledge of data structures, you will be easily able to complete 3 questions. Till then, guys, you can write in the chat box. Our speaker will be joining soon. Level and category of questions. So, like Satpreet has asked, basically, Satpreet, the level will be easy to medium. It will not be that hard. You will be easily solve 3 questions out of 5 questions. Mode of interview, guys, the students who will be selected will receive all the details over mail. Also you will be having the leaderboard, the test pattern. Rahul, if you don't have you don't know the test pattern, you can just go on the course track. All the details are mentioned on the course track, what will be the type of questions they will come. You will be having you can solve the questions either in C++ or Java, Like there are 3 languages available in which you can solve the questions. Link of exam. Link of exam, basically, as you have registered for the event, when you will be going on the courses website, uh, basically there all the details are mentioned for the interviews. Will there be penalty? Okay. So how to know which data structures are important for the particular company test? Basically, guys, I would say like you have 2 hours for now to prepare for the test. So I guess you can focus on arrays, strings, and dynamic programming. Mostly these 3 will the interview of selected students be live on YouTube? No, guys, like we haven't like this time we are not having the live interviews, but for sure, like for the next time, like we will be inviting all the winners of Geek INAC for on the closing ceremony.
Hello, I guess there has been some issue with Daksha's camera or network connection. Don't worry, he'll be joining soon. So, any further questions that is regarding to Geek INAC all round? Yes, we get him. Yeah, on Daksh, you
Yeah,
were
sorry
addressing
for
some
the
queries.
issue, guys. Like there was some connectivity issue. Yeah, what about Python? Yeah, Anurag, the Python language will be also there. Like when you will be going on the course track, you can see like the Python will be also there. Guys, there Python is there. Talk about Fang roadmap. Guys, soon our speaker will be joining with us. Like I guess there is some connectivity issue on his side. We are waiting for him. As soon as he will join, we will start the session. Till then, I can like solve some of your queries regarding anything if you want to ask. Oh, Fang. Guys, the time for the coding round is from 7:30 till 10 p.m. Like all the details are mentioned in the like coding round. If you guys are having any issue, like you can go on the course track and all the details are mentioned over there. Technical interview round will be 1-to-1. Yes, Saurav, the technical round will be 1-to-1. Like you will be interacting with the industry experts like Udit Agrawal sir, Ritesh Shergill sir, Shashank Mishra sir, and Anshul Sadaria sir. So it will be a 1-to-1 interaction of continuous 13 minutes. They will be asking some of the questions which you have to solve, and accordingly you will be qualified for the HR round for the third day. Marking of coding questions are based on. So basically, like all the details are mentioned on the link given. Like there will be 5 questions. All of them are having different type of duration, like the coding level, and accordingly you will solve it. Duration of interview. So the technical rounds will be of over 25 to 30 minutes, in which they will be asking one technical question and one CS core subject question. If we are to prepare, what type of data structures algorithm should we prepare? Like first you should start with some programming language, and followed by you should have some like data structures starting by array, string, and followed by dynamic programming. Is navigation allowed? Yes, Deblina, the navigation is allowed, as like there will be an option of also like submission, like test case. You have to pass all the test case, and accordingly like you will be marked for that particular question. Is 2020 pass out eligible? Astit, all the members, all the students are eligible for this. There is no issue, like if you are in 4th year or like 3rd year, like there is no foundation, all the students can participate in it. When we will get the link, guys, you will, like if you have registered for it, like all the details are already mailed to you guys. You can just check your Gmail ID once, and all the details are shared over there. How much time will you give for solving one question? Like there is no foundation. There are 5 questions. You can solve all the 5 questions in 2.5 hours. Guys, I would request everyone to like go through the mail once. Like we have mailed all the registered students, like all the points are given there. Like firstly the course link, the test link, all the details are mentioned in the mail. I would request everyone to go to the mail and check all the details once. Guys, like cut off. So basically, like when you will be solving all the questions, the leaderboard will be visible there. There only you can see like at what ranking, and the top 100 students will be selected for the technical round. Yeah, Shubham, you can go to the next question. If you are not able to solve any question, you can go to the next question, solve that, and come back to the previous question. The navigation is allowed in this test. Any prizes? So basically, guys, you are getting an opportunity to like be interviewed by the industry experts. Like they are software engineers, senior software engineer at tech giants like Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Like what else do you guys need? Guys, we are waiting for our speaker to join. I guess there is some network issue on his side. We are waiting. As soon as he will join, we will start with the session.
Hey guys, hi. Sorry, Daksh, to interrupt, but we have a very sad news actually. We have been, Daksh has mentioned, you're right, that the speaker, Sir Hassan sir, was having some network issues, and our team just tried to contact him, and he won't be able to connect with us today. His area has have facing some kind of storm and things, so he's just having serious network issues. And it's also something morning happening over there, different time zones, different weather scenarios. So yes, we are very sad. We are very sorry, in fact, that we called you all, and at the last moment we had to cancel Hassan sir's part. But yes, sir has promised, in the upcoming days, in 2 3 days only, we can have this session once again, because we know this one of the highlight of this whole session was the roadmap to Fang, and not me, not Daksh or anyone else other than him and people like him can address such a huge topic. So definitely we need Hassan sir and people like that to have that session. So once again, I'd like to apologize and say sorry for that thing that we won't be having the Hassan sir session today. Maybe in 2 or 3 days to come. Make sure that you check your mailboxes and everything. We'll keep you updated whenever the next day or date he confirms, and um, we'll just have the session. And everything else is online. Okay, everything else is nothing is on track. Things are going on. Just Hassan sir's session will have to postpone on some other day. We'll have a closing ceremony session. Everything, it's on track. So further, we'll just like to just, if you have some questions related to the contest or Geek Inak, Daksh would like to just address that. And at 7:30, you have the contest, and everything is completely like that. And then another session we will be having for Roadmap to Fang for the closing ceremony. There again, we'll address the same thing. So yes, Astitva party is over. But the real party, your party, is going to start at 7:30. Make sure that you are ready for the party, and you have that party feeling after giving the contest. Okay.
So guys, we are like very sorry. Even we didn't know about this, and like there was some issue with Harshansa area. So like there is no issue. We will be having him soon within this week or so, and we will try to have you have a session on roadmap to fan. So after this, like there's no issue. All the things are on time. The contest will start today. There's no problem with
It's
all the
already
time.
started. Yeah, we have already started. It's on. Just the session is not happening. And no, we were also very excited to meet him as well. Our excitement level was also something else. So no matter, the 3 days event is live, and we have the contest. We had one question, someone from like Deblina, yes, if you're a first year, there's no harm in trying out. Make sure that you try with the coding round.
Yeah. So guys, the contest will be starting at 7:30 p.m. If you guys don't have invitation code, just I will write in the the speaker, like the host will be like I am writing in the comment section the invitation code. Just a sec.
Okay, so I think the majority of the questions have been entertained. So I guess we should end up with this. The registrations are not still open, but yes, if some kind of invitation code that Daksh is telling, if he writes it down, then yeah, more people can register. But that was all. So we'll be ending the session soon. Sadly, we didn't have the chief guest that we wanted to be here for this day, but definitely we'll be having other things, and everything is on track for now. So we are again sorry for that. But yes, all the very best for your coding round that will be happening at 7:30 p.m. today. And Okay, guys. Okay,
Guys,
guys.
wait.
Good news. We are. Sir is here with us.
Sir, guys, Hassan sir has joined us.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, are we audible?
Yes, I'm really sorry I joined late because
Yes,
there was
sir.
confusion regarding the time. It's 4
Yeah.
a.m. here and I need to join at this time.
So no problem, sir. A very good evening, sir. I hope you are doing fine.
Yes, I'm fine. Apologies again for
Yes,
joining.
sir. We can like continue with the session. So,
Yep.
guys, today with us, like we have a very special guest, Mohammad Hassan Khan, sir. Like he's a full stack developer with 13 plus years of industrial experience, and like has shared amazing working experience with tech giants like Microsoft, Amazon, and like is currently working as a software engineer in Google. He's joining directly from Mountain View, California, Google headquarters, for an interactive session on Roadmap to Fang for you guys. So, sir, I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. So,
Thank you
so
so
sir,
much.
I will.
And my apologies for joining late again.
Yeah, sure, sir. So, sir, like I will be starting with a very basic question. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, we circulated a Google form with the students, and like they filled it, and like were having multiple queries. Like we got almost 500 plus responses from the student, and like we have shortlisted some of the questions, and so we will be starting with the questions, sir. So, sir, like
Okay.
we were having, like I will be starting with a very basic question. Sir, like what intrigued you to go into the field of coding? Like, why didn't you choose any other career, sir?
All right. So it started long ago. I come from middle class or lower middle class family, and we could not afford to have a computer. And I had some relatives who were well off, and they got computer. And this was the first time I saw somebody interacting with the TV. For me, the monitor and the computer was like interaction with the TV, because I was used to seeing the screen as just one way, interaction where you just see images and pictures and you can't change anything. So I was intrigued by looking at this new machine that he has, and it's very expensive. So, and I was just I wanted to touch it and manipulate and use it. So it's just a curiosity of what this thing is. I don't even remember how old I was. It's long ago. So uh, the closest thing that I could get to it, we could not buy a computer. I got this Chinese Commodore clone that you would connect to a TV and play games on it. And the only thing that was computer like on it was G Basic, which is GW Basics previous version or something like it. So and that's a programming language, and because it came with a keyboard, you press keyboard keys, and you can start seeing letters on the screen. So I wanted to use it just to fulfill my desire of owning a computer, which I did not own. So that's where it started. I bought a book on GBasic and learned the language and just made small programs. And then when we could afford, I started buying basic computers and kept upgrading. So my first experience with the computer was coding, and that's how it started. Just because it was something very rare and very few people had it. Yeah.
So that was good to hear, and I hope, sir, like many students, like till date, they like didn't like everyone have a story to like to motivate themselves in the field of coding. Like myself also, uh, I didn't have laptop before, but like when I enrolled for like BTech session, like I get into coding, and like now I am having a good session on coding. So, sir, like we will be like going to the second question. Like, sir, what were your initial projects during college days? Like, which helped you to, which helped you? like the initial projects. Like, so some of the students start with the snake game and all. So, sir, like, what
Right.
were the initial projects?
So, you mean in the university?
Yes, sir. During the college days, sir.
Okay. So I've been coding before university. I was even when I was 13 years old. So um, the projects that helped me or helped me grow as a software developer, I like I mentioned, I started with very small programs and small games and whatnot. The most significant thing that I made was um, MSN Messenger, which I don't know, most people don't know even now. Microsoft used to have before Skype another chat client called Hotmail Messenger or MSN Messenger or Live Messenger. It had different names. I created a clone for it in Visual Basic, and I did that before joining university. That helped me grow as a software developer a lot because it has many users. It was mainly used in Pakistan. And besides that, I also wrote a client for sending SMS messages. So there were a few mobile companies, cellular companies that had their own chat applet, Java-based chat applet on their website, which most likely the same company made it for them for all these cellular providers, and obviously it was closed source. So I downloaded it, looked at its network packets, network protocol, and I created a clone for it in Visual Basic. So these two softwares became very popular, and they had a lot of active users. I had to fix bugs and keep updating them, upload new versions. That helped me grow, and that's what I suggest other students also when they ask me what projects should they be making. It should be something that you yourself are personally motivated and interested in building, something that you need yourself. Like, for example, I needed these clients because back then, MSN Messenger did not have the features that I need. And I would, for example, I wanted if somebody started typing, then I can see that they're typing. And that was not a common thing. These days, it's very common. Somebody starts typing, they're typing a message, but that I added that in MSN Messenger. And when they go offline and things like that, they block you. It detected things like that. So if you are personally motivated in making something and you're going to spend time in updating it and you have active users, that will help you grow as a software developer because you're going through the whole cycle, building something, releasing and maintaining it, coming up with the idea and design, whatnot. When somebody tells you to make something, you don't have the same motivation or same, push to work on that software. So any software that you are personally interested is good for you as a student to grow because you'll keep working on it.
Like, that was good to hear, sir. So, like, we have got another question from Krish. Like, he asked, like, being a college student, like, sir, what do you suggest? Like, what should be the roadmap for a first year student till fourth year? Like, how should he prepare? Like, if he want to crack any FANG company as a fresher.
So if anybody wants to join a FANG company, there are a couple of things that I say. First of all, don't be fixated in your mind that I don't only want to work in a FANG company, because that will see there's so many people apply and there's so many people who are actually very good engineers. The criteria of being a good engineer is not that you get into FANG, right? And because there's so few people who actually make it to these companies, if you're not going to, let's say, if you don't clear the interview the first time, it does not mean that you're a terrible person, not a good engineer, whatnot. So don't measure your worth as an engineer based on whether you get into FANG or not. But let's just set that as a baseline. Second thing is, it's good to prepare for FANG. Keep that in mind, but don't make it the only thing that gives meaning to your life. So that there's so many other companies that you can get into after graduation. So if you don't get into FANG, maybe there's something even better than FANG for you. I got into Microsoft after years of software development. I didn't go out straight from college to Microsoft, right? I had some. I graduated in 2008 and joined Microsoft in 2013. So that's a long time between, right? So if you want to get into any big company or small company, because these days even smaller companies also have similar kind of interview. It's not just FANG anymore. If you're working for a product-based company, the interview is almost similar. So what you need to do as a couple of things as a student, really focus well on your studies. Make sure you understand each subject, whether it's maths, it's programming, it's operating system and data structures algorithm. There's no subject that's unnecessary as long as it's related to CS or math. Pay attention to it. Do all your assignments yourself. Do all your projects yourself. Try to have a very small group. Don't have a huge group where you have like 5, 6 people and every person is doing very little. The smaller the group there is, the more pressure it is on you to contribute and do more. So make small groups for making projects. Don't copy anything. Don't copy assignments. Just take your education very seriously, especially the subjects like operating system, data structures, algorithm, and system programming, graphics, or whatever, anything related to programming. Pay attention to those subjects, and if you can get internships, do those internships in summers. If you're not able to get it, because it's not easy to, everybody doesn't get an internship. If you don't get an internship, don't get irrelevant internships, because some people just say I want an internship, and if I'm not able to get an internship related to the field of interest, then I'm going to just do anything. No, that's wasting of your time. So don't get irrelevant internships. If you're not able to get an internship, just make something. Yeah, throughout your university, I've personally been making software even before my university. Throughout your college years, make a habit of building things and putting them up on website like GitHub. Make them open source or publish them on store. You have to have a mindset that I'm an engineer, not only after I graduate. You're already an engineer because there's so many subjects you're studying. You're making things, right? So your journey as an engineer starts with your studies, and you have to start making things and start uploading, producing things. Just put them on App Store or GitHub or whatnot. Especially in the last year, just before graduating, in the last semester or the second last semester, start preparing for interviews also. Anybody who knows coding and can make software is not necessary that they'll be able to clear the interview. I have years of experience, and every time I have to look for a new job, I have to prepare for interviews. It's not something that you're without preparation to clear an interview. You have to be like a genius, like which I am not, right? Even though God has blessed me to work in different companies. So prepare for interviews in your last semester and second last semester besides your education. If you have extra time, catch up with the industry. So on social media, follow professionals, engineering managers, people who tweet about professional life or technical subjects. Don't waste your time on social media and things like that. So the more it's like the more effort you put into your education and your career before you begin your career, the more ready you are the time you graduate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sir. So, sir, like nowadays, like students are also going into competitive programming. So, like, sir, what do you suggest? Like, should a student focus on competitive programming, or should he focus on the projects?
So, okay, so the term competitive programming is used for participating in programming competitions. Okay, and the question that you get in interviews, data structure and algorithm questions, they will not word it the same way as they are in ACM competitions. The programming competition questions are usually very confusing. They're more wordy. You have to solve a puzzle before you begin solving a problem. Okay? The interview questions usually are not puzzles. You don't have to solve any puzzle. So I personally believe, and a lot of people won't tell you this because I think the term for competitive programming is used differently in certain regions. I don't recommend anybody to waste time in doing competitive programming, but I do recommend people to practice for data structure algorithm questions on LeetCode. So I don't consider using website like LeetCode as competitive programming. Okay? So if you want to prepare for interview, use websites like LeetCode and solve problems, the kind of problems that you get in the interview. And they're not exactly the same as you get on programming competitions. Now, having said that, if somebody is used to solving competitive programming problems, which also include puzzles, usually they are able to solve interview questions also. But realize that this will only be helpful in an interview. The purpose of doing this is to clear the interview questions. It does not build you as a software developer. If you want to grow as an engineer and you love this career and you're not just obsessed with clearing an interview, building projects is the thing that you should be doing if you want to be a software engineer and understand how software is made. Now, given as for fresh graduates, they most likely are not going to get a lot of questions that are that can only be answered by somebody who's a seasoned engineer. So system design questions are usually not for fresh grads, right? It all depends on what your motivation is. I do recommend building projects, and it shouldn't be one or the other, right? Like it's not like the whole whatever 4 years of degree, a person only builds projects and never does DSNA questions. So you have to have a balance of both. You have to build your foundation and be an engineer, learn how software is made, go through the process. Building projects, I think, is very important. It improves your resume also, right? So when you apply for internships and jobs, you already have something. People know that this guy is already built, or this lady is already built. As a student, as a professional, you're already used to making things. Right? You're ready to go. So that counts in your favor in terms of, if I have 2 resumes to look at, I'm not speaking on behalf of my employer, just making that disclaimer again. Anything I say is my personal opinion, not the opinion of my employer. So if I'm looking at a resume, the two resumes, and one person has made software and rest of the qualifications are same, I would consider the person who has experience of building software to be more ready to go and having a higher chance of clearing the interview, right? So if I have to pick one. So that's why I recommend students to do both, not just one.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we have got one question from Divya too. So, she asked, what type of projects are considered to be a good project?
Like I said, any project that you're personally interested in, you have a very small group, you did most of the contribution, because in the interview, if somebody is going to quiz you about your project, you should know everything and you should be able to explain the challenges. And there isn't any specific kind of project that nobody can tell you. I don't know if somebody comes up with such a suggestion, you have to ask them where is this coming from. Ask a recruiter, is there a specific kind of project you're looking for? No. Anything that just shows you that you can build stuff, whether it's a website, whether it's an app, something that's significant. Obviously, you don't say that my project was I wrote a script that manipulated some data. Like that's not very complicated, right? And you want something that has some functionality, requires some time in building. Something significant that you can, for example, publish on App Store, even if it's a 2-page application, even if it's a website which has like 3 pages, but something significant. It's not just one script or one small program that calculates our birthday or whatnot. So something significant that you yourself made, nobody dictated to you, and just come up with anything that you want to solve. A problem in your daily life, in your education, and anything, right? If somebody is passionate about, let's say, cars, they can make a website about finding all the cars and by their model and whatnot, selling cars, whatnot. Somebody is motivated about clothing or whatnot, they can make a fashion website or app, anything that you're personally passionate about.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we have got one question from Shadab too. So he asked, he's not able to decide whether he should be he should work on projects using full stack, Munstack, or he should go in the field of MLA or AI, basically. So he's not able to decide which path to follow. So, sir, what would you suggest? How should he decide?
Yeah, I spoke about this a few times on LinkedIn. You have to consider three things that you personally have aptitude for, things that you're interested in, and things that have value in the market, right? You want to pick a career or pick a field that has a good intersection of these three things. If you pick something that is not going to earn you money, unless you're super rich and you're just doing it for fun, you need to earn at the end of the day. So you want to pick a field that will help you earn. Both of these AI and ML is emerging field. There are lots of positions, and if you're a full stack developer, obviously there's plenty of positions already. So earning is not a problem in both of these. Then the remaining things, your aptitude and your interest. If you're personally motivated to learn about AI and ML and all the sciences that go into them, whether it's math or whatever, statistics, if you're personally motivated in doing that, then go ahead for this field. If you're not motivated and interested in studying the subjects that are required for succeeding in that field, then I wouldn't recommend it. Just because I know that a lot of people are going in AI and ML, but we shouldn't be following the crowd just because everybody is doing it and I should be doing it. You should pick between these two anything that you are motivated in buying books and watching YouTube videos and something that keeps you up, keeps your eyes open and won't cause you to fall asleep. So once you do that, then the rest will, work out.
Okay, sir. So, sir, let's take 2, 3 questions from the chat too. So, sir, Preet is asking, what would be good to go, whether it is MERN or mean stack?
I think it doesn't matter. As a software engineer, you should be ready to pick up any stack that is required for you to pick up. So start with one. You want to start with MERN, start with mean, whatever, so start with one thing. It doesn't have to MERN mean just plain JavaScript, no framework. Just start with just building HTML, JavaScript app. Have the mindset that when I have to learn something, because you see, there's so many job opportunities. You're not going to say, I'm not going to get a job unless it's in MERN and mean stack, right? So that's not going to work out in your favor as an engineer. Start with one thing and be open to learning anything that's necessary.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we have got one question from Isha too. Which is the best time to do internship during the college days?
If you can do it every summer, it's good for you. If you are not able to get an internship, build projects. Whatever spare time you have, don't waste it. That's it. So if it's if you get 4 summers and 4 summers you can do 4 internships, good for you. All power to you.
Mm-hmm. So, sir, we have got one question from Shabazz too. He asked, should we focus on co-curricular activities? Should we participate in clubs, technical clubs or not? Or should we focus just on the coding side?
Participation in those clubs require a lot of time commitment. I passively participated during my education years. I was not an active volunteer. And that's why because I was busy in other things. So you have to look at, if you're positively utilizing your time in building things and learning coding and becoming a better engineer, if you're doing all of that, then you won't be able to, even if you want to, right? It's fine to for example, I've organized programming competition, and I was up just before the night. I was up entire night preparing the competition questions, which is not good planning. Shouldn't be doing last night. So it's up to how much time you can manage, but your priority should be your software development and becoming a better engineer. If you have extra time, then doing these activities help you grow your people skills, working with people, getting stuff done. That's also important, very important. But you can also learn that during your internships and while doing your project. So
yeah, we have got one question from Mayank too. He is asking, is there any time when you felt fell to drop a coding job and start some business or something new?
Drop? No, I have never felt that I should stop coding. I have made failed attempt and participating in business, investing in businesses, but no, I have not personally felt that I want to stop coding at this point and start my own company. Some people have that mindset. And if they're able to do that, then go ahead. Having your own company is much better than working as an employee for somebody else. If you can start your own company, give it a try. If it fails, if you have the motivation and mindset. I did not have that motivation mindset. I did not do it. But if you can do it, I would recommend it. It's much better than being an employee.
Mm-hmm. So Tanisha is asking, she is doing a coding, but she is not able to build a logic behind like how to solve that question. So, sir, like what you would suggest, like how to build the logic for a particular question?
So nobody is a born coder. We learn coding, building logic with time. So start with very small programs. Take a tutorial or a book on one language. Start with very small problems that are to solve. Once you get used to solving small problems, then start go slowly. Don't directly try to solve lead code questions. Have a good grip on the language so you can express yourself. It's just like I'm speaking to you because we're speaking in the same language, right? If I don't have a grip on the language that I'm trying to communicate with you, no matter how good ideas I have in my mind, I won't be able to convey them. So it's very important that you have very strong grip on the language itself, so you're able to convey your ideas. And logic building just comes with practice. There isn't any other way. Just start with very small programs. Once you become good at them, a lot of reading, not just trying to build stuff, but reading books and tutorials can also help. Go slow.
So, guys, we will be taking last two questions. So, if you have any questions, you can write in the live chat. So, like Abhay is asking, like, which, according to like you, like, which field have higher scope in future? Like, going in the research in the ML side, AI side, or should he focus on the web development?
I think both of these fields will have scope. Far future, I don't know. We will not be alive by then. But in the near future, at least both of these fields, AI ML is not going to solve every problem for you. Right? I'm aware of some efforts that can build websites, but they're very basic. And if you are building anything complicated, you need a full stack engineer. AI and ML is not going to solve that problem for you. For now, people should just follow their interest and don't worry about far future. We're not that close to the future where everything is AI and ML and you don't need software engineers anymore. But if you're interested in AI and ML, go for it. If you're not interested in full stack, it's completely fine to be.
Sure, sir. So, thank you so much, sir, for giving us such a nice session. So, sir, like any last tip you want to say to our viewers?
Since I'm speaking to students, I would just, like I said earlier, pay attention to your studies, utilize your time, don't waste your time. There's so many things. College years, we have a lot of energy and spent in a lot of extracurricular activities. If you make that sacrifice now, it's going to work out, help you in your professional year. So make your choices wisely. Choose your friends wisely, who you spend time with, and what activities are you spending time with. I know you won't get the chance to have same kind of fun in the future, but you have to pick between having a lot of fun and having a good career. Some people end up having both, but you don't want for your future to be like flipping a coin where you don't know if it's going to work out or not. So work on it, and hopefully everything will work out for you. I wish you all success in your careers. And once again, I'm really sorry for coming late because the time got mixed up.
Sir, it's completely fine. We can't just express how happy we are to have you. We also get tense like in the last few minutes. So thank you so much for. We know that it's very early there in the place where you're living, and it's quite 4 o'clock maybe if I'm not wrong. So. Thank you so much for taking out your time, your valuable time to share your knowledge, your experience with all of us today, and just highlighting the events on the very first day. Thank you so much, sir, once again from the whole team of Geeks for Geeks.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, that was it. Well, I'll say, don't know about you all, but yes, as organizing team, you were also asking. We also get tensed when we don't get reply or response at the correct time. But yes, we had it. We had an amazing session with Hassan sir, and get ready for the coding session. Now, a lot of you are having the question that the invitation code is not valid to Geek INAC. We have got the solution. Don't you worry. We'll be putting a link, a coding link in the chat box, and over there you can just get into the link and go and give the coding. For the code, it's for the coding link. You don't need to register for now, and you don't need to use any code. Just you need to go click the link and get there for the coding test, and there you can get the first round of Geek INAC there and then. So you'll get it there. I guess the majority of your questions, and the link is on the screen. Okay, the link that you can see is on the screen. You can just click there and you can move on. And it has been shared in the chat box as well. So thank you all of you for your valuable time. All the very best for your exam. It's gonna soon start. And yes, let's wrap the session for now. And all the very best for Geek INAC 2021.